Jamie Dornan and the cracks in his relationship with Dakota Johnson. Jamie Dornan sat alone in his Paris hotel room, his glass of red wine reflecting the pale yellow light from the ceiling. It was almost midnight, and the honking of cars outside had not stopped. The room was so quiet he could hear the clock ticking on the table, counting each heavy moment. He was used to fame, the aura, the fake praise, and even the rumors. But what he had never been mentally prepared for was Dakota Johnson, a woman like a maze with no exit. When Jamie first met Dakota during her audition for 50 Shades of Grey, he was captivated by her eyes that were both innocent and magical. But behind that gentle exterior lay a psychological storm that even he could not have expected. During the years they worked together, fans had always speculated about a secret relationship, something that went beyond mere friendship. Jamie didn't deny it, there was an inexplicable bond between them. But what Jamie couldn't stand for long was the overlapping relationships, the ambiguous emotions, and the constant uncertainty that surrounded Dakota. The last drop in Venice, the premiere of the new film in Venice, was supposed to be a happy occasion. Jamie and Dakota were invited as guests of honor. They stood together, laughing like close friends, or like old lovers trying to hide something behind flashbulbs. But Jamie knew the truth. He knew that the night before, Dakota had been with Luca, a young Italian director she'd met at a party. She said it was just an artistic conversation, but Jamie didn't believe those words anymore. He'd heard him too many times, under different names, Chris, Elena, even an unknown musician she'd never introduced to anyone. "Do you really know what you're doing, Dakota?" Jamie asked one evening backstage. She chuckled, pouring more wine. "Jamie, I always think everything has to be in a pattern. Emotions aren't a problem with a clear answer, but you can't keep playing with other people's emotions and call it art." "Maybe you are art, Jamie." That answer, seemingly poetic, felt like a stab to Jamie. He didn't want a muse. He wanted a person, real, stable, and not like smoke that would disappear when he thought he was about to touch it. Texts that were never sent. Jamie wasn't much of a talker. He kept his emotions to himself, expressing them through his roles or through his secret phone diary entries. There were dozens of texts he wrote to Dakota that he never sent. "Why can't you choose something for yourself? Are you thinking about anyone but yourself? I'm tired of guessing who you are today." The words never left the phone, but they were proof the rift had begun. Not with arguments, but with silence, with avoidance, and with the quiet loneliness of being together but no longer looking in the same direction. Shards of mirror. One morning in New York, Jamie woke up in Dakota's apartment, one of the rare times she invited him to spend the night. But instead of waking up next to her, he found himself alone in bed. On the table, a small note. "I need space to think. Don't worry, I'll be fine. D. Number explanation. No goodbye." Jamie looked at the note and sat there for hours. That's when he realized, it wasn't that he wasn't good enough. It was that Dakota was never ready to belong to anyone, the darkness behind the lights. After Dakota's note, Jamie felt like a part of him was being shut down. The following days became a blur. He struggled between the desire to hold on and the urge to let go. Everything was like an abstract painting that he could not decipher. Jamie's best friend, Mark, who had always stood by him through difficult times, once said, "Jamie, you can't save someone if they don't want to be saved." Jamie nodded, but his heart was still troubled. Dakota, that woman, with a complexity that made anyone tired. But he still wanted to find out why she was like that. He remembered a time when they were filming together at a villa in Greece. Dakota had sat on the balcony, looking out at the deep blue sea, her eyes filled with deep sadness. I used to think love was a game, she said. But now I realize, sometimes that game can destroy the player. Jamie said nothing, just sat next to her, feeling Dakota's wordless loneliness. And at that moment, he wondered, could the complications in her relationships all stem from unhealed wounds? A late confession. One day, when they both attended an event in London, Jamie decided to say everything that was in his heart. He had mentally prepared himself for every possibility, including having to say goodbye. Dakota, do you know how long I've endured? The sleepless nights, the times I heard you with someone else, the distance you created between us. His voice was low, but determined. Dakota looked at him silently, her eyes no longer defensive, but tired and extremely lonely. Jamie, she whispered, I didn't mean to hurt you. I don't know how to love like other people. I'm afraid of commitment, afraid of losing my freedom. But you know, what I'm most afraid of is loneliness. And you're the only one I want to escape from. That confession was like a sharp knife, both painful and heartbreaking for Jamie. He understood that it wasn't that Dakota didn't love him, but that she was fighting with herself, a complicated battle that he couldn't help her win.